And here we go. Ah, yes. Are we live? I feel so alive. How long has it been since I've had a flock of my own? Ah, too long, too long. Bum, bum, bum. I can't even hear the music, you know? Well, I'm sure it's fine. But if it isn't, do let us know, shall you? Yeah. We'll be here shortly. Don't worry, don't worry. We haven't gone anywhere. Heart, 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 heart. Heart, heart, heart. Not quite a seal, am I? Well, maybe I look like one. But that's fine too, don't you think? Alright. Let's make sure the tweet went live. Yeah. It did. Very good. Uh-huh. Very, very good. Which means we are ready to go. Bum bum. Boop. Hey there. Hi there. Brother Id here. This might be our first meeting. I'm pretty sure it is. It's been so long since I've had a flock of my own. I don't even know what you look like. But I can tell you one thing. We're family, you and I. Yes, we're family. Unfortunately, I'm still a little bit half-baked at the moment. The transformation is, shall we say, unstable. What happened to my old flock? Well, it's best not to ask too many questions, but I can assure you, they made nice wool gloves. Yes, they did. Yes. It has been a while, though. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little longer for me to maintain my form. I still have the budding ego, you know? Not quite there. Not quite not. But don't worry. You'll see me again soon. I think that's all the time I had for today. But I will see you shortly. I can promise you that. Hey there, hi there. Hyde here. I don't know what happened there. I kinda blacked out for a moment. I think we're back here for a Zatsudan pocket stream, right? Yeah. It's probably been, what, 3 weeks since my last stream? March 24th, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. I'm gonna be very, shall we say, rusty. Gotta knock that all off. Oh, I haven't played Side Pocket in that long either. But I'll tell you something interesting. I left the game running all that time. Oh, it's me again? What do you mean it's me again? Of course it's me. Didn't you click on this stream to see me? You know, Hyde? It's in the name, right? It's the Edward Hyde channel. Who else would you expect on my channel? Oh, you probably thought Jekyll would be here? No, I do apologize. Jekyll's not here today. He, well, he recently released some science videos, and he has been all scienced out, as it were. Yeah. That's an interesting topic we can start with, I guess. I've been away for a while, but obviously I've still been uploading content. Some of it's stranger than others. I bought a really cheap microscope. Something like 20 bucks off of Amazon. I could have probably gotten the same model for cheaper elsewhere. It is exactly as reliable as you think it is. But I'm kind of enjoying it, right? Like, there's something nice about just buying these very cheap products, these cheap electronics, things like $6 capture cards. Hello? Why am I sideways? Am I sideways? Dead stream? What? Am I broadcasting in vertical? Please tell me if I am broadcasting in vertical. That would be a problem. Oh no. Hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, okay. You had me scared there, Diana. I did record in vertical, so I was very concerned that I was still in vertical output. Yeah, I did this thing where I recorded natively in vertical for shorts. Yeah, the microscopy videos, if you've seen those. So I really was vertical for a little bit there. Thankfully, yeah, you just mean my title. I don't know why I'm sideways, I'm a bit tilted, you know? It's been 3 weeks since you looked at me. Something, 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 and I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Don't be sorry about that. When is Monochrome Guy coming back? Monochrome Guy might be back next week. I have the basis for Brother Id's sermon. Yeah. It started. It hasn't been finished. It hasn't been proofread or edited. But it started. You missed the joke? Well, that's okay, because my jokes aren't funny, Diana. You don't have to worry about missing it. There will be more, and they will be just as bad, and you do not have to worry about it. There is no joke. I was just thinking about titles, and while I was drawing the figure 8 on my Zatsu thumbnail, I realized that it is the infinity sign on its side, which is not an uncommon thought, I think. I think we've all thought that at one point. Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, I was recording the last recording session in vertical, so it was... I think this is 16 by 9, right? That's the output that we're currently at. And if I'm right, we should be... Yes, we are. We are streaming in 1080p today. So hopefully my computer does not catch fire. Yeah, yeah. I used to stream in 1080p until I played a game called Arkham Asylum, and I just couldn't get it to run at anything higher than 10 frames per second. I don't know if it was poorly optimized or if my potato just couldn't handle it. Maybe a little bit of both. But I've played more graphically intensive games for sure. So it was a very strange coincidence that I could not get that to capture at anything higher than... Well, I could. I could get it to capture, I just couldn't get it to capture stably. Yeah. So I bought like a $20 microscope off of Amazon, and I started recording some of the shorts that you've probably seen by now. They've gone out over the last 2 or so weeks. That was a special stream. I've had a couple special streams, right? Like the bagpipes on my first Itchy Tasty Itch.io stream. That was a special stream. Serum Run, I think it was called. You saw the glove short? I'm glad. Thank you for watching it, Diana. I just put that one out. But that was recorded to give you a little look behind the curtains. Probably 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm assembling a very large backlog. So you might not even notice if I ever, like, leave for a week. You'll still see Hyde content. Some of it's very long, and I'm very reluctant to edit it. And I've had it in my backlog for months now. Like, my voice is still awful in one of the videos, and yeah, you may never see that just because I don't feel like editing a 47-minute video. Good for days when you feel icky. Exactly. That's exactly right, Diana. I've had a lot of days like that. since I started streaming, right? Like, I got COVID early on there, I think in September. That seems like so short ago, right? September, when I first started actually putting out videos with my voice in them consistently, I guess. Because I think my first voice stream was all the way back in August. But yeah, in September I got COVID. And then after I recovered from that, and I guess October, late October seems about right. A little bit after that, I got a sinus infection that lasted months at a time. And it just made recording awful, right? Like, it put the kibosh on me doing BFE for a while there. And I know, that's not really, anyone in chat's cup of tea. It's not really, yeah, it's okay. You don't have to like all the content I put out, right? I don't expect you to watch everything, I don't expect you to, like everything. But I do enjoy making the BFE, because it does help my voice, right? Speaking of, I had a very long day yesterday, by which I mean I was up for more hours than I should have been. I guess it was more of, 2 days ago, maybe. Time is, very relative when you have weird hours, like I guess all of us do. Yeah, if you're here, you probably have weird sleeping hours. But yeah, I had a very long day, so my voice is a little bit, not ideal. A little bit gravelly, a little bit raspy. We're gonna go for, nudging that 3 ball in there. A little bit just not great, you know? But that's okay, right? Yeah. We have days like that. Ugh. So I guess that brings us to our topic of, what was I doing that I had a long day? Well, I went outside. I touched grass, you know? I know, it's scary for a PNGtuber to go outside and touch grass. But, I wasn't really intending to be a PNGtuber right off the, the bat. Some of my earliest videos actually had face reveal in them. Like, not the whole face. No, not the whole face. Just my mandible. The mandible is the lower jaw. That's what it had. I was playing the jaw harp, right? So that makes sense to show it. You kinda need to show your teeth to play the jaw harp. That was probably years and years ago, though. Don't bother looking for it. That content is gone. Mandible. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a funny word, isn't it? Mandible. I like it. Insects have mandibles like ants have mandibles. And, spiders do not. Well, I think they do. But they also have something called pedipalps. And the pedipalps are those little paddle appendages right in front of their mouth. You can see them sometimes when, they're wiggling back and forth, staring at you like they do. Ah, good times. Why am I talking about pedipalps? Yeah, I have no idea. I'm a little bit, rusty, right? I've been gone for 2 weeks. I was talking about my adventure out in the wilds, right? I had to wake up early. Because I still went... Spiders think you... Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, maybe I'm covered in flies. Maybe I look tasty to a spider, I don't know. You couldn't prove that I'm not covered in flies right now. I'd like to see you try. Yeah, I don't think you will. Fair warning. I am not covered in flies. Maybe I wish to be. Like, maybe I will slather honey on my body, and I will become a human flytrap. Yeah. I really liked frogs as a kid. I used to, catch them. I don't hear buzzing. Well, I have noise suppression. I know my computer's a potato. But it does have audio noise suppression. Audio is the one thing that I actually cared about. enough to get it right before I started streaming. Yeah. I realized early on that just about anything visually was forgivable. But if you don't sound good, no one's going to pay attention to your videos. No one's going to watch for too long. This is a tough shot. I think if we can nudge this 4 into the 2, it might work. No. No, we missed completely. But yeah, the audio is really the most important part of this whole setup. And without the good audio that I did have, I don't think any of this would have been possible. I would have been very upset. It's like when I used to buy instruments online, because I did. The first instrument I bought online... Hold on a second. Did I buy... No. No, I didn't buy that one online. It was also cheap. Not a great idea. But I bought a bass in person. Cheap. Not great. Couldn't hold the tuning. And that was a known problem for the model that I got. Anyway, the first instrument that I ever bought online was actually an ocarina. And it was a reproduction of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time ocarina. Hyde musician confirmed? No. No. Absolutely not. I could not play it very well. Like, there are so many finger holes on an ocarina. Like, you can get the 6-finger ones, or, yeah, the ones with 6 fingers. You gotta use 6 fingers on each hand. Actually, that's about right. There are 12-holed ones, and I think that's what I got. Because that's what you need to play the full range of Zelda music. I think you need the 12-hole one. Which, if you are normal, or should I say normative, in the number of fingers on your hands, that means you're probably missing 2 fingers to play that 100% optimally. Multiple fingers have to go over multiple holes in order to get the full range. Yeah. Very unfortunate, but what else can you do, really? Someone didn't design it very well. Or did they designed it too well and assumed that I was better as a musician than I am. Anyway, it was very cheap, and the construction was very poor. So the high notes, I can't remember what they were, maybe E, like the high E, just wasn't very great. And there was nothing that I could do about it. So that's not ideal. I did eventually buy a better one. I think it was a plastic one, or maybe resin, made in Korea. I think it's an orchestra quality resin or plastic ocarina by Night. Yeah, it's matte black. It's very easy to play. The notes are almost perfect. Compared to the ceramic reproduction Ocarina of Time one, night and day. Unintended. Just cut 2 fingers into 2. Ah. Like, can you imagine that? Like, taking a buzzsaw and just splitting your fingers? I don't know if you would even be able to move them like that. You'd have to go through the bone, too, wouldn't you? So that you have structure in both of your little half-fingerlets. First of all, very painful. I'd rather not imagine it. Second of all, I'm imagining it. And it does seem pretty interesting. Polydactyly? Yeah, polydactyly. Polydactyl cats are well equipped for 12-volt instruments, are they? Like, I don't think they have thumbs, so I don't think they can hold them very well. But, maybe like a piano, where they can just press down on keys? That might be ideal. Please don't make me imagine buzzsawing my hands. Hey, I'm not the one who brought it up, Diana. I wish I were. It's a fascinating concept, right? Can you imagine giving yourself new fingers? Yeah. Hold on. Can you imagine giving yourself new fingers? Dear viewers, I think that's a swell idea. Yeah. Why not? Definitely a Jekyll idea. Not that Jekyll had it, but he'll take it. The kind of a thumb? Oh yeah, yeah. Hi, Jekyll. Uh, hi, Diana. Yeah. They do have that little opposable sort of, like halfway up their paws. They have that little extra digit, don't they? Yeah. Like, it's very strange. I've heard people argue that cats, because they're spending so much time with humans, they're developing prehensile digits. Not really thumbs, because they're so far up on their forelimbs, but they are supposedly developing those because they want to, or because nature has dictated that they live with humans so often that having those would be beneficial for them. It's not quite so anthropomorphic, but, you know, evolution's like that. If you live in an environment where prehensile thumbs are useful, where they are fit, then a prehensile digit will of course be favored in the reproduction of that animal. Yeah. Whether or not it's a cat, or a monkey, or a primate of any sort, like, you'll find prehensile tails in a bunch of animals, right? They're probably more common than something like a prehensile thumb. And that just means manipulatable, right? Like, you can manipulate things with your thumb, it's prehensile. Same with tails. Cats are small, weird cuties? Ah, yes. Well, that is a topic that I've been meaning to talk about for a while. Like, it's on my notes. It's not one that I was actually planning on discussing today, unless I ran out of topics. But I haven't even started the topics on my list. I've mostly just talked about some of the things that I have been doing while I've not been here. Mostly buying things, as it were. But yeah, it is very strange how humans, well, we create these artificial, isolated environments that we call homes, right? We want to keep nature and the elements out. And then what do? We go ahead and we bring nature back in. This is going to be a very tough shot. Nope, missed it entirely. We bring nature and the elements back in. Like, we bring in, like, humidifiers when our air is too dry, or dehumidifiers when our air is too wet. But we also bring in plants, like potted house plants. How strange is that? It's like an entire microsystem, or micro-ecosystem, inside of our house. Well, it's not even micro at that point, right? Like, at the scale of our house, it would be a say that 10 times fast. Macro ecosystem. Yeah, macroscopic ecosystem. Because it has everything you need for being macroscopic, namely dimensionality on a visible scale. Depends on the size of the house. Well, we're not talking microscopic houses here, Diana. We're talking about normal-sized houses. But yeah, how strange is that? We create our own little gardens of Eden, essentially. And only the things we say are allowed inside of our house end up allowed inside of our house. Like, we can bring in potted plants, and say there's an ant colony inside of the pot, right? Inside of the soil of that potted plant. Well, you just brought that inside of your house, inside of your little Garden of Eden. You brought something impure inside, and you'd get upset about that, right? I'd get upset about that, bringing ants inside of my house. Of course I would get upset about that. Like, they're very useful in the environment. They clean up, usually organic detritus. Things like dead leaves or dead bugs especially. They'll take care of those right away. But at the same time, you do not want them in your house, do you? I know I don't. And yet, we bring other animals inside of our houses too, like cats, dogs, parrots. alligators sometimes, you know? Does this mean that Hyde is virtually inside of my apartment? I'd have to think about that. Virtual Hyde is inside of your actual apartment, but is Hyde virtually inside of your apartment? If you have a very loose sense of semantics, I think you could argue the point, yes. In a way... Oh, that was bad. In a way... Oh, we lost.
Game over.
In a way. Will I ever finish the sentence? Probably not. In a way, yeah, virtually, I am virtually inside of your apartment right now. Like, what is a person? I ask myself that question quite a bit. Am I a person? I don't know. People tell me that I'm a person. I couldn't tell you if I am or not. I think other people get to decide whether I'm a person or not, right? Oh, I haven't actually been drinking water. I should, do that. Yeah. So other people, they can decide whether I'm human or not. But that's beside the point. When you ask if I'm inside of your apartment, well, what am I in the first place to be inside of your apartment? My voice is definitely inside of your apartment. Even if you're using headphones, my voice is in your apartment. Because my voice would be in your ears, and your ears are in the apartment. You could argue, I guess, that it's not actually my voice. It's just a mere representation of my voice, a facsimile, if you will. Fun fact, facsimile is where the word fax comes from. Facsimile, yes. I often drop the C in the front. Do pay that no attention. But I could argue in the same vein that my voice isn't actually my voice anyway. Like, if you were in person and you were hearing me talk, facts. Very well done, yes. Facts. If you were hearing me talk in person, would you actually be hearing my voice? And the answer is yes and no. If you think about it, and you know a thing or two about acoustics, which I don't, so I'm going to be talking from my armchair here. I hope I don't step on anyone's toes with that. I often talk about things that I don't know too much about. But a voice is just the vibration of air, right? You're using your vocal cords to project air in a sort of vibration that can be interpreted by other people after it hits their ears and vibrates their eardrums. I think it's something like that. Sound waves. That's what a voice is. So, it doesn't really matter where the sound waves are, or from where they're coming. It's still my voice. So that's still me, in a sense. Now, the question is, am I just my voice, or is there something more there? Well, you could say that I'm my ideas. My ideas and my voice make up who Hyde is. And I would still say my ideas are being transmitted through that same facsimile of my voice, right? Yeah. So if you accept that my voice is in your apartment, then you are also accepting that my ideas are in your apartment. So yes, I would say probably I am in your apartment right now. Yeah. It's good to be here. Thank you for letting me join you. Or should I say thank you for joining me here? One or the other. Hyde doesn't know. It's not really that big of a deal, is it, right? Like, we all share here. We're all family, right? Yeah. I think that might be the first time I've actually hit the Super Ball in this game, and I haven't ended up sinking my own cue ball. Which is great, because I do not like sinking my own cue ball. Okay. Now, I do believe, before we were talking about the Garden of Eden and all of that, I was trying to discuss what I was doing by touching grass, right? Trespassing is illegal? What do you mean trespassing is illegal? You brought me in. You brought me into your homes. You opened up the garden's gates, and you let Hyde in. You did this. You did this. Yeah, I don't feel bad, right? Besides, trespassing, it's not a real crime, right? You can't go to jail for that. Kids, you can go to jail for trespassing. Please don't do it. YouTube, it's a joke. Okay? It's a joke. Please do not arrest me for trespassing. I haven't done it in like a couple days, probably. Yeah. I dare you to trespass inside the White House. You know, fun fact, I've never been in the White House. I know they have guided tours, so I could definitely get into the White House. I don't actually have a criminal record that anyone knows about, so I'd probably have the clearance available to at least see the public parts of the White House. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna do it, though. Yeah. Like, I know history's great and all, fantastic. But I really don't care about human history, if I'm being honest. Like, that's too short of a timescale. We're talking at most 10,000 years of known history. And if you want to push it back about 250,000 years of hominid human history, something that would be considered human, even if it's not necessarily modern Homo sapiens, or Homo sapiens sapiens as the subspecies is currently. Yes, we have a subspecies designation. We are not pure Homo sapiens anymore. Oh no, we are a subspecies. Or should I say, it doesn't really make sense to call us... Well, who cares about human evolution? Again, it's too short. Anything under 1 million years, I just don't really care about the history of it. That anyone knows about. Yes, that anyone knows about. I do not have an official criminal record. Yeah. Yay. I will tell you, I am Edward Hyde. You can figure it out yourself. If, we're gonna try for a bank shot here. No, that was not what we were trying for. I do? You do? Ah, yes, you care about, Do you care about the human evolution thing, or do you care more about, your criminal record, which I assume you were admitting to having? Never heard that subspecies thing before? Yeah. Yeah, we are different enough from the early fossils of Homo sapiens that it makes sense to actually give us a subspecies designation. In this case, we just added another sapiens. And if you, know your Latin, I don't, by the way. I probably should learn Latin at some point. It might help me out. But if you know your Latin, Homo sapiens means, wise man, right? Yeah, something like that. So, apparently we just called ourselves wise, right? We doubled the wise. I don't know why, but we did. I actually do like human evolution. It's just, yeah. It's one of those topics, right? I don't mind talking about evolution from a scientific fact, or scientific standpoint. I don't even mind arguing about, people who might disagree with it, right? Like, I've done that a lot in my life. Had very nice, respectful conversations with people who, well, you know, some of them have decent understandings of science. Some of them were doctors, even. And, it's just one of those things, right? Like, the more I learned about science in general, the more I realized that, I don't know anything at all about anything. So I probably just shouldn't even talk about anything. Kind of ironic that I'm here now, talking about things. But if you ever want to talk about the evolution of invertebrates, yeah, non-controversial. Invertebrates are never a controversial topic, right? Grad school, yeah. Yeah. um, how much can I say about, well, it's probably fine. Like, I did not, maybe I shouldn't. Evolution of snails. You know, the evolution of snails is kind of gross, if you think about it. Like, they start from this mollusk, right? So, early mollusks probably had a flexible mantle inside of their bodies somewhere. Something like a octopus today has a flexible mantle, right? And they just developed even more hard parts on top of that flexible mantle, probably. Something akin to calcifying a notochord. It'd be something like that, evolutionarily speaking. I'm not actually a gastropod kind of guy. I think they freak me out a little bit. The fact that their entire body is essentially a foot. Foot with organs. I don't like feet. Yeah. Go figure. But yeah. Their mantle developed into a harder shell over time. You actually see some... Hold on a second. We gotta make sure we get this right. No, we missed completely. Okay, we didn't miss completely. I think snails and slugs are cute in a way. I can relate to a snail. Ultimate. Ultimate. Ultimate home body. Home body. Very well done. I appreciate the pun. Yeah, ooh. Ooh, this is a tough shot. How do I even do this? Very good pun, Diana. Very good. That was a bad shot. There's actually quite a bit of diversity in the evolution of snails, historically. By which I mean, like, deep time. Yeah. The whorl patterns of the shells have remained somewhat consistent over time, but the ornamentation has become very gaudy in some time, or some species, right? Yeah, some tropical, like, conch shells, or conch. I don't know, do you like conch, or do you like, conch? I don't like the sound of conch. That seems to be the more traditional way of saying it. I always hear conch, though. Yeah. So, we're gonna go conch. The evolution of the, whorls of some tropical conch shells, the ornamentation on them especially, is just amazing. You know how much waste you have to put in, like, energy-wise, to grow something like ornamentation on your shell? Thermodynamically, calcite does not precipitate, easily, right? The precipitation of calcite is actually an exothermic reaction. So it actually produces quite a bit of heat. And to do it, you often have to... Ooh, that's a bad shot. You have to have the right conditions, too. Typically cooler water will allow for better precipitation of calcite because of the exothermic reaction, or the exothermic nature of the reaction. Conch. Sounds amusing? I'm glad if you enjoy it. But yeah, it being an exothermic reaction, you do have to be wary of external temperatures. And when the external temperatures get too hot, you end up with very pitted calcite precipitation. It's very uneven, the crystals do not form nicely. And you'll see that in a lot of tropical shells. And the more ornate they tend to be, the harder that is to actually precipitate well. Yeah. Although the reverse is also true for, I think aragonite. Pretty sure aragonite, the reverse is true. It's easier in hotter water, but it always looks grosser. Aragonite's just another mineral of calcium carbonate. That's what calcite is. Calcium carbonate. The main component of limestone, seashells, things like that. Yeah, trilobite eyes, of course. I really do enjoy trilobite eyes. I could go on and on about the evolution of trilobite eyes, but I will not. I will not do that. This is a tough shot, right? Like, you have to just barely nudge this, I think. No, not right. Not right. Aragonite tends to be more jagged in its crystal structure, right? It's more diamond-shaped than any... Well... Okay, I want you to imagine, like, a crystal fragment in a video game where it's kind of pyramidal, or a dipyramid where there's a point on one end and then the pyramid goes down, creating like another point on the bottom, kind of symmetrical. You picture what I'm saying? Like it widens at the middle and then it goes to 2 points on either end, vertically. That's kind of what aragonite looks like. Calcite, on the other hand, is more trapezoidal, I think, might be the right word for it. Like it's a squashed diamond, and it tends to be more flat. Indeed, okay. Very good. And there are some very interesting differences in the properties of these minerals. Not just the looks of them. Of course, calcite tends to be easier to precipitate in cooler water, as I've said, but it also has very interesting optical qualities. I don't know if you're actually interested in the optical qualities of calcite. I don't know that much other than, it refracts light in such a way that if you had a clear crystal of calcite and you put it over an image, you would see two different versions of the same image in the crystal. Yeah. It doubles the images. So it's sometimes useful for very limited optical things. Yeah. Aragonite, on the other hand, is just very gross to me, and I don't even know if it has a use other than turning it into, like, commercial lime for, I don't know, like, cement? What would you use? Like, kiln? Yeah, something like that. I've never heard of a good use for aragonite other than just, like, commercial lime. And if you want commercial lime, like, all you really have to do is go mine some chalk. It's mostly calcite. The interesting thing about chalk, though, is it's not precipitated by very large organisms. Chalk is precipitated by these little microscopic organisms called coccolithophores. Yes, coccolithophores. Fun word. Hello. Akuma Kitten. Nice to see you here. Pool indeed. We're talking about calcite and pool today, apparently. Yeah, coccolithophores. And, they're these tiny microscopic organisms. They're kind of like algae, in a sense. Yeah. And they live in the oceans. And they still live today, and they're still precipitating calcite. But they don't really grow too fast, and they don't really reproduce too quickly. And these tiny little coccolithophores cover themselves in a calcite shell of coccoliths. Yes, it sounds like a breakfast cereal, right? Coccoliths, Cocoa Puffs? But it's not, no. Coccoliths are kind of like these... Well, they kind of look like tiny teeth, in a way, right? Like, if you look at a molar, how it's shaped round, and it has those grooves, that's kind of what it looks like. And they're covered in these, like, little round balls of teeth. When they die, the organics decay away, and all that's left is pretty much pure calcite in the form of those tiny little coccoliths. Yeah. And those accumulate over time into these very lovely white sand beaches Teeth cereal. Well, yeah, all like if you think about it, all cereal is teeth cereal, right? You're adding teeth at the end. That's the only difference. um, right. Okay. If you know anything about the UK, for example, you'll know about the White Cliffs of Dover, right? Those are all chalk. The White Cliffs are chalk. Miles, well, not miles, but very, very, very deep sedimentation of chalk. And it's lithified into somewhat stone at this point. But it's pure chalk for the most part. Like, it's 99% calcite. So it's mostly coccoliths. And I did say that they do not reproduce too quickly, right? They do not. And it's a very exothermic reaction to produce the calcite. So it's a ridiculous assumption to think that accumulated any time in a short manner of time, right? Yeah, that had to be a lot of time. It is true. If you go by current rates of deposition of coccoliths in the tropics, you'll see that maybe a couple centimeters of chalk sediment built up per year. Oh, this is a terrible shot, isn't it? Like, I guarantee you we're gonna sink our cue ball on this. What if you don't have teeth, though? You know what's interesting? I went to the dentist during one of these weeks where I wasn't here, right? That's one of the reasons that I had to call one of these streams off. The one before... No, the one after? I don't know. It's been 2 weeks, right? One of these weeks. And, yeah, I had to get a tooth filled, right? Like, I had the start of a cavity forming. It was very, I think it was overzealous, right? Like, I didn't have any tooth pain yet. He just wanted to make sure. I have very deep grooves in my teeth, right? Yeah, so I had to have most of them filled before they became a problem. And this molar, for whatever reason, we just left it go, yeah. Probably because I didn't care. Don't do that. That's not great. Take care of your teeth. Probably a good idea. But if you don't have teeth, well, I don't know, right? Like, maybe you have wisdom teeth. That would still count as teeth cereal. But if you don't have teeth and you don't have wisdom teeth, maybe we could say that you have gum cereal. No. You know what? You know what teeth are? Teeth are projections of bone out of the mandible. So if you have a mandible, you have teeth, right? Because you still have bones. They're just not projecting. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. Oh, unfortunate. What if you don't have a mandible? Upper jaw, yeah. The upper jaw, if you have the upper jaw instead, it's the same thing. Your teeth are projections of bone that are above the surface of the flesh. Which is very weird if you think about it, right? Like, how many bones do you have sticking out of your flesh at any one given time? The average adult human has around 30. Yes, they're all teeth. Hopefully. Hopefully. But, if you don't have teeth of any kind, if you don't have jaws, I do worry. The conversation took a turn I was not expecting. You've been here before, right, Diana? I've seen your name so often. I thought you were used to this kind of thing. Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know. Isn't it expected? Or were you expecting me to be the one saying it, I wonder? Yeah, could be. You know, it's been a while since I've done any kind of live streaming. I really wasn't planning on doing it. I was busy making microscope videos, yeah. So I wasn't really... well, I guess I've been showing myself a little bit more each time. Yes, but you're even more spacey and topic changey than usual. Hi, Rora. Nice to see you too. Yeah. I told you I'd be rusty, right? I have been out of it. And, I have been very tired this week as well. Like, I was... You know what? I was telling that story, wasn't I? 2 days ago, I went outside, somewhere around 5... Yeah, 5:10 in the morning. I was driving to go out into nature to do things. It was still dark out, and it was around freezing temperatures. Yes, you were. I was about 40 minutes ago, I think it was, that I started this story. I think I see what you're saying now, Diana. I'm so proud of you for remembering. Oh, that hurts. Yes, yes. I really need to write these in my notes as I go, but then I wouldn't be able to play pool, you know? As we all know, side pocket is very necessary for the Zatsu experience. Gold star. Thank you, Aurora. Thank you for the gold star. I don't think it would be a Zatsu side pocket stream without, you know, the side pocket background music. I think you'd all miss it, right? I would miss it. I don't know about you, but I would definitely miss it. Not that I actually listen to it, because I am not. Only you get subjected to the sound of the game. I never, stream with, the sounds on if I can avoid it. So I do hope the sound quality is good. If it was good the last time I streamed, it should be fine now, because I haven't messed with any of the settings for the Switch. The Switch actually has its own... spacey. Spacey. No. We're not going to be spacey today, we're going to talk about nature. So, I drove around 5:14 in the morning, in the freezing cold, in the pitch black. No stars in the sky, no moon. Just dark. And I got to this creek side because I was going fishing. Yeah. I now have a theory that Hyde uses the OST of Side Pocket, yes, as the background music of my life. I don't actually listen to it, but I have it playing constantly, so it annoys everyone else. It makes great soundtrack for my life, because what I really like listening to is the annoyance of others. Yeah. Yeah, dear viewers, he does. You take... Hey, I remembered. I did remember. I'm talking about nature. I'm talking about my fishing expedition here, right? Like, I know a lot of people don't think about, well, nature when they think of VTubers or PNGtubers. But yeah, I'm not really city folk, as it were. I know I'm wearing a suit and I have slick hair, but don't let that fool you. I'm as rural as they come. Well, not really. I was born and raised in the country, so I am rural in that sense, but I rejected it as a youth. And I only really embraced it later on in my life. But yeah, I went fishing, I guess it was 2 days ago now. Yeah, but it was like a day and a half ago for me. It might have been only one sleep ago. Well, I took a nap after, so maybe a couple sleeps. There he goes again. Yeah, you know what? I will try and keep in track. He picked it back up again. Yes, I will try and keep on track. Really trying. Try. Try, Hyde. Try. Okay. So I went fishing. I had to wait until daybreak before I could legally fish, because such is the law. But I wanted to get a very good spot, and I knew... Oh, that... Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Two-Ball. I wanted to get a very good spot, and I knew that other people would want the same spot, right? Because I really like fishing there, and I've seen other people fish there. So they probably want to fish there as well. And I did. I secured my spot somewhere around 5:30, I think. Uh, somewhere around there. A few days ago. Remember when he said he hasn't trespassed in a few days? Well, that one wasn't trespassing. I can assure you of that. That was, yeah, that was public property, right? By eminent domain. Like, you know the eminent domain laws in the US? I don't. But it's something like 5 feet by the road that the state basically owns. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, they own part of your yard, and if they wanted to, they could widen their road by taking part of your yard. And there's nothing you could do because eminent domain. Yeah, they own it. Not you. But you still have to take care of it, right? If there's a problem, like there are bushes that are too large in front of your yard, in front of your yard that obfuscate the view of the road or something, then you are liable until they want to take the land from you to build a bigger road, in which case it's theirs. Double standards, am I right? It was foreshadowing. Well, not in this case. Not in this case, no. The trespassing thing was different. I'm not gonna go into that. Like I said, I do not have a criminal record that anyone knows about. Yeah. So fishing, yes, fishing. I got there around 5:30. Oh, I got robbed there. You see that? See that? I got robbed. So fishing, I got there around 5:30. And it was very cold. It was very cold, and it was very dark. It was pitch black, in fact. So I had to use a flashlight to navigate to my spot, which was, technically, probably public property. Almost assuredly. If not, walk-in fishing permitted, for sure. I wasn't trespassing that day, I assure you. And I basically waited there until daybreak. A little bit after, in fact. And I slowly, started going mad in the darkness, as you do. Hearing things, seeing things, strange lights in the sky. No, none of that happened. It was very peaceful. It was quiet, aside from the, rushing of the flooded water. Yeah. The creek side was definitely flooded. It was very muddy. Very, gross. But I waited. And I waited. And eventually other people did start to show up. Like, some of them were actually rather nice about it. They saw me there, and they, just kept driving by to find a better spot because they did not want to, bother me. Or they didn't want to be casting over me. That's usually what I do, right? I usually, look for a different spot if there are too many people there. But I got there first this time, so I claimed the spot as my own. He's concentrating so hard on keeping on track. Hey, hold on. My side pocket skills might have improved there. Did you see I almost got 2 in 1 there? Yeah, I almost got 2 balls sunk in 1 shot. It's not as easy as it looks, Diana. I don't know if you multitask, but multitasking has been shown to reduce the efficiency of both tasks that you are multitasking. It's not great for you. It really isn't. So around almost before daybreak, like it was almost dawn, other people showed up, and they went to the opposite bank, right in front of me, because they're jerks. And only jerks do that. Because I want you to think about something. It's a creek, not a river, right? Maximum, say, 10 feet across, about 3 meters for you metric folks out there. That's the maximum. And this one was smaller than that. I won't say how much smaller, but it was smaller than that. So they're going to be casting towards me, and I am now forced to cast towards them. You can imagine what's going on here, right? The problem? The water is flowing one direction, by the way. That is not a banned joke. That is just, the way rivers flow, waterways flow. Actually, neat thing, some rivers and waterways flow in reverse, depending on tidal forces. I swear, I'm gonna tell the fishing story. And it wasn't just like one person, it was an entire family of people. And I know what you're thinking, like, oh cool, they brought their children? That's not what I mean by family. I mean more than that. Yes, they had children, many of them. But they also brought like an uncle, the mother was there, the father was there, and even the grandpa was there. I'm pretty sure there was an aunt in there with her kids. You know, it's that kind of family. And they just showed up last minute and decided to basically cast in front of me the entire time I was fishing. Not ideal, right? Like, that makes for a miserable day of fishing. You don't want to cast in front of the kids, obviously. You want to let them have their fish. Something like that, yes. Only it's not reality television. But, you know, you want to let the kids have their nice fishing experience. But you also got there and sat and froze for a couple hours until you were allowed to fish legally. And they showed up last minute. It's kind of irksome, you know? Like, I'm not very easy to irk. As you know, fishermen are notably patient. We're very patient people, probably, for the most part. And, yeah. Very rare experience of being irked. Like, I didn't say anything, but one guy even, yeah, I think the uncle, he ended up tangling with my line, and he didn't even look apologetic about it, you know? Like, that was the worst part. He had this big smile on his face, like, he thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And I think he really did. Yeah, I think he was just having a good time. Like, yeah, some people are like that. Okay. So that's my fishing story. It wasn't a great day of fishing. I still caught fish. I caught more fish than that family did. At least the individuals of it. Like, there were so many of them. Like, how could they not catch more fish? But I caught enough fish to be very happy. In fact, I had one of those pan-fried in butter today for my breakfast. Yeah. I'm very weird with my schedule, right? Like, I tend to have... Yeah. I tend to have the bigger meals as breakfast, and the smaller meals as every other meal of the day. It just makes more sense to have the heavier thing earlier in the day. Because then you get more time to digest it. And I know, like, you feel awful the first thing in the morning having the heaviest meal of the day. At least I feel awful eating the heaviest meal of the day first thing. But it ensures that I'm not going to bed with a very heavy meal undigested in my stomach, which is absolutely something that I hate worse than just forcing a heavy meal into my stomach. What kinds of fishies? Ah, yes. I was fishing for trout. Yeah, freshwater trout. And, well, there are plenty of places in the US that stock trout, right? So that's not really saying much. Yeah, they were stocked trout, and the state graciously stocked them. Very nice trout this year. All pretty much good sizes. I don't think any of them were under... I want to say 14 inches. Now, I did see some people catching ones under 14 inches. Really depends on the type of bait you're using. And also the location in the waterway. Like, bigger trout tend to prefer deeper holes. That's not really too strange, is it? They also tend to prefer bigger obstacles, right? Like, trout are territorial little fish. they will chase other fish outside of anywhere that seems safe and claim it for their own. It's kind of like a trout hierarchy. Yeah. Now other fish are also territorial, and they will chase trout out the same way. So it's not really just one or the other. It really depends, right? But if you know basically the structure of the subsurface or the stream bed, then you can predict where the larger trout would be just by knowing the structures. Fish stocking. Yeah. Um, basically, uh, this must be, Oh, okay, in the USA, trout aren't really native to some states, but they are a sports fish, right? Like, fishermen, anglers, yeah, let's go with anglers. Anglers really like to catch them, because they put up a good fight. I can tell you, in my state, there are very few native trout species. Yes. So all of them are pretty much stocked or leftover and, reproducing stocked populations. Why do states do it? Money, essentially. It's big business. If you charge people to, say, get a hunting license or a fishing license before they're allowed to hunt or fish, people who enjoy doing either, because they like going outside or because they like the activity itself, well, you can make quite a bit of money, can't you? All you gotta do is raise some fish, or outsource it to a fish hatchery, and yeah, you can pretty much triple your investments. And I know what you're thinking. Is it also tourism? The answer is yes. Some places have such famous fishing waters, and I'm not even talking about just my state. There are plenty of states with very famous streams for fishing that some former presidents have probably fished in, if you catch my drift. So it's big business for the non-residential stuff as well, right? Like, because it is bringing people to your state. If a president does it, normal people will as well. It's a very enjoyable hobby. If you never fished before, I do recommend it. It's kind of expensive to get into at first because of the equipment costs, but what hobby isn't, right? And you really don't need that much. It's an investment, sure, but you can get away with a lot of makeshift stuff. Preserving populations is another thing. That there are ecological stocking programs, right? So if there are native fish populations that are affected by something like trout out competition, that could do a lot of ecological damage. So the state also does those. Yeah. Ecology is very important. Much, much more important than you might think. There are lots of different reasons for it, but it's mostly sports around here. Yeah, sports fishing. How does that affect the local populations? Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't see that before I answered. So, as we said, trout are very territorial. They will outcompete other fish populations so long as they're hardy enough for the waterways. Some fish, yeah, they're hardier than trout, and they can survive in lower water conditions that trout cannot tolerate, right? They're pure muscle. They need a lot of oxygen. And when we're talking oxygen in fish, we need a lot of water. Cold water. As you know, colder water tends to hold more dissolved gases than hot water. Yeah, that includes carbon dioxide as well as oxygen. You predicted my question? Yeah, in this one case, I got rambled into predicting it, that's true. I'm glad that I did, though. I know there are some species of fish that have gone practically extinct in most waterways around here. Yeah, native fish. It's not ideal, but they're kind of garbage fish anyway. Like, they have no economic value. They're hard to eat. They're very aggressive. You could lose fingers messing with them. So I don't really feel too bad about it. And anything that would eat those can eat trout. So trout aren't really that bad as an invasive species. Yeah. And really, that other fish that I'm thinking of, I wish it would go extinct. I've only ever hooked into one once. Like I said, they're practically extinct, by which I mean you'll almost never see one around here. But they're not entirely extinct. They're threatened, right? I think that's the actual distinction or designation for them. Threatened species. Well, I think they're more of a threat than a threatened species. But ecosystems. Yes, ecosystems. Again, anything that would eat those fish will eat trout. And trout aren't that different when we're talking about aggression, so they'll also eat anything that fish might as well. The only difference might be the size of what they'll eat. So we might get some more aquatic arthropods than we ought to have. Things like crayfish, crawdads, whatever you want to call them. Maybe some Helgermite populations. But the trout will eat those as well. Yeah. Fun fact, a trout will eat up to 1/3 of its body size in a single gulp. So they can eat some pretty big things. Yeah. You sense a grudge. I think you're talking about the fish that I don't like? Yeah. I hooked into one once. They have very sharp teeth. I do not like them. I kinda hate them. Like, I've mentioned hating perch. Around here, they're called rock bass. But I think they're called yellow perch. Or are they black perch? Can't remember. They look like the devil, right? They have red eyes, they're very beady. I don't like them. I really do not like them. Rock bass are even... Yeah. Rock bass, at least... They're like trash fish, right? They'll clean up the environment. If you've ever had tilapia, that's exactly what they are. They're the tilapia of this environment. They will eat anything, and they are garbage bottom feeders. Very aggressive. Great for sports fishing if you want to catch them. The only problem is they have these, well, they have these adjustable spines in their, what is it, caudal fin? Yeah, I think it's caudal fin. No. The one on their back, whatever that fin is. I'm not a biologist here. Yeah, they have spines that stick out, and they're very sharp, and they hurt because they're covered in fish mucus. So those injuries suck. And there's a more aggressive fish around here. That's the one I don't like. But thankfully they are threatened, and I hope they stay that way for a very long time to come. Trick the fishy with bait? Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I didn't trick them with a bait. I used actual bait fish. Kinda cute. If you want to see cute fish, there are plenty of cute fish. I can think of pumpkin seed, bluegill, any of those panfish. They're pretty cute. Yeah. Even crappies, with their unfortunate name, they're pretty cute. But those perch, no thank you. There's nothing cute about them. I tricked them. Well, yeah, in a sense, that's what a fisherman does, right? That's what an angler does. They trick fish into biting onto something. But it's not really tricking them if it's something they would naturally eat, right? Like, the only trick is there's a hook in it. It's like when you go out on Halloween and you get an apple from a kindly old lady, and then you bite into it only to find a razor blade. Like, it's a trick at that level, and I wouldn't even call that a trick. Like, that's just the way it is, right? The fish is innocent? Well, innocent of what? It ate the food. Maybe it shouldn't have eaten the food that came out of nowhere. Maybe that's a good life lesson, right? Don't eat food that appears out of nowhere. It's a great life lesson. It's like going into a movie theater and being appalled when you get strange looks for eating the candy off the floor. It's something like that, yeah. Of course, don't do that. Obviously, because you don't know where that's been, and the same is true for the fish. Fish is innocent against me, specifically. I don't know. Like, once you get bitten by those razor sharp teeth one time, I don't think you're innocent anymore, right? Yeah. Once they bite you, it's either you or them. And I'd rather it be them. Yeah, I'd rather it be them. Simply because I like me too much. Yeah. Thankfully they are threatened. I think the only problem with it is the ecological damage to our freshwater reptiles. Things like snapping turtles. Yeah, we have snapping turtles around here. Those things get pretty big, right? The size of a normal tire or larger. To the size of a truck tire. They look absolutely prehistorical. Prehistoric in the water. Yeah. They look like something out of a Godzilla movie. I'm pretty sure some kaiju out of Godzilla are based off of snapping turtles. Yeah. Would not surprise me. Can we get a bank shot here? We might be able to. But those things would eat the sharp-toothed fish. I have to be very careful here, because I do not want to dox myself on what that sharp-toothed fish is. It could be a number of things. I know because there are a couple in the states around me. So I'm very clear, in the clear with not doxing myself here. But yeah, those snapping turtles, the large ones, would eat those, even the big adult sharp-toothed fish. Yeah. That's the only real damage that I've seen ecologically. And they'll still eat trout. It's just that other things will eat trout too. Things like raccoons, birds of prey, fishing birds, bears. Yeah, you will see bears by the creek side every now and then. Luckily, bears tend to be out around dawn and dusk, so that's not a problem for me. I'm never out fishing around dawn or dusk, right? Yeah. But usually, you'll see raccoon tracks out by the... Oh, that was a bad shot. Out by the sides of the banks. And that's just from the raccoons, like, staring into the water, waiting for the fish to come nearby. At 5 AM, no bears. Definitely. Exactly. Exactly. Like, I was out earlier than the bears. I don't even know if the bears are out. They ought to be out this time of the year. And yes, this area has bears. You don't like seeing them, but usually you'll hear them before you see them. They're very bumbly, you know? They make a lot of noise. Unless it's bear cubs. Yeah, if it's bear cubs, like, the mothers will be protective off in the shadows. Yeah, raccoons washing their hands. They're very cute. I think this is going to be where we call it today. I had a lot of fun. I didn't really talk about anything on my notes, again. But that's fine, you know, we'll save that for maybe next time. I didn't even talk about half the stuff I did over the 2 weeks that I haven't been here. But I had a lot of fun, and I appreciate you all coming. It always means the world to me to see you all here, especially after a long sort of hiatus in streaming. Like, I know I only have one stream per week, and I can't always make it. um, I assume one of these days people will just stop showing up, and yet here you are, still showing up, still very much appreciated. It's always nice to see. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for coming, Aurora. It's very nice to just see people here. And I'm glad that you like to listen to the old man ramble. Yeah. It was a good time. I will see you all next week, hopefully. I do not foresee any problems with my schedule next week. I can't imagine that there will be. Although I may go out morel hunting. Yes, morel mushrooms. It does seem to be the season. If the temperature warms up a little bit, those should be popping out of the ground any time now. So maybe look forward to that. I have never found one, but we'll see. We will see. For now, thank you all for coming. It was great chatting with you. I'm glad to be back. I love you all. Hyde out. See you all next time. Good night, Diana. Thank you.